Forget gurus. Forget anyone claiming to be an online business expert without going through the challenges of entrepreneurship themselves. The Real Money, Real Business podcast is here to prove the best insights in online business comes from your fellow online business builders. We dig into stories of entrepreneurs selling their business on the Empire Flippers marketplace so that you can learn how they made their business profitable, how they overcame obstacles, and what lessons they learned in their online journey. If you want to take your business and your knowledge to the next level, you've come to the right podcast. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Real Money, Real Business podcast. We record these interviews so potential buyers have more information about the seller and the business to help them make a buying decision further down the road. Today we'll be talking about an affiliate business for sale. And I have the seller with me today, Randy. Welcome to the show, Randy. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, Vinny. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's a pleasure having you on. Looking forward to talking about your business. And just before we get stuck in, let me give a very brief summary of the business for our listeners. Today's listing is an Amazon Associates and affiliate business created in September 2019 in the personal care and beauty niches. The average monthly revenue for the business is $5,384, and it makes an average of $4,524 per month in net profit. The assets included in the sale are a domain and all of the site's contents and files, one additional domain used as a 301 redirect, and a Pinterest account. You can head over to empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing 52572 to learn more about the business. And unlock the listing first. You can start your due diligence then if you're interested in purchasing this asset. Randy, that's a very general overview about the business, but let's find out about yourself. Can you tell me a bit about how you got started with online businesses? Is this the first one or have you done a few?
So I got started in basically SEO about 8 years ago. It was the first kind of marketing role I got outside of college, and I fell in love with it. And from SEO, I started to figure out that you needed to learn things like Photoshop and web design and things of that nature in order to be solid at SEO. And so it's always been something that I've kind of worked on the side, apart from other full-time jobs. But this is the first affiliate website that I have created.
Yeah, that's awesome. So over your 8-year journey, can you share with us any resources that just really helped you learn and skill up your knowledge about, like you say, SEO and just affiliate businesses in general? That could be, certain communities, maybe influencers or YouTubers or courses or just anything like that.
Yeah, I think the most important thing is to look at websites that are doing well and trying to figure out what they're doing well in and with. I think that SEO is kind of broad enough where you kind of can cater towards what you're best at. And so that might be something like programming. It might be something like Photoshop. You might even be able to do something on YouTube if you know how to do video, which I don't. I wish I did. But I think with SEO, there's just so many different paths to be successful with it. It's just kind of figuring out what you're best at and using that to your success.
For sure. Share with us, how did you come up with the idea to start this business in particular, in these niches?
Yeah, absolutely. So I actually originally intended this website to be an e-commerce website. And I was kind of looking for what I could launch as an e-commerce website. And I found this website for sale, and it was built off an expired domain. It was affordable, and I really liked how the website looked. It had some blog posts to it already, and I thought that I could turn this into an e-commerce store. So I went ahead and purchased it. And at the time, it was getting no traffic. That was about a year and 7 months ago, I believe. And from there, I started adding tons of blog posts, and I quickly decided to start trying something easy out, like let's do some affiliates off of Amazon. And so I kind of got hooked on the affiliate side of things. I had done a drop shipping website about 5 or 6 years ago, and dealing with customers aspect was a killer. It's not something that I ever wanted to have to necessarily go through again if I didn't have to. And so once I kind of got more and more into the affiliate side of things, I realized, hey, maybe I don't ever have to do this e-commerce side. Maybe I can just do this affiliate and make this a successful website and make it, not have to deal with people basically. So
Yeah, I think that's one of the beauties of affiliate businesses, like you say, because it's relying on SEO and inbound traffic. It basically has a potential to be very hands-off, where you don't have to interact with customers or people who are coming through on the sites and clicking on the affiliate link. So it's definitely a big plus point, especially if, you don't want to deal with clients. So, Randy, I just want to ask you, why did you choose these niches in particular for this business?
Yeah, so this is a particular niche that I could kind of relate to. So I knew the customer base. I knew what people were searching for. This is something that I had searched for in the past. And so I knew how people operated in this world, and B, I knew what they were looking for to buy and how I could possibly get them to buy it.
For sure, that makes sense. Can you just share with us briefly, how does a business make money?
Yeah, so originally it just made money off of Amazon. And then I quickly found a ton of other websites that would pay me to be used as an affiliate. And so a lot of those pay significantly more than Amazon. So I quickly started to kind of stray away from Amazon whenever I could and promote other products. So right now, the majority of the business is coming from one affiliate. I think probably anywhere from 80 to 90% of the revenue is coming from that affiliate just because it pays so well. And yeah, that's how it makes money.
Yeah, awesome. So it sounds like it started off as an Amazon Associates business, but now Amazon Associates probably makes, well, from the sounds of it, maybe like 10% or less than 10% of the total revenue.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, that's good to know. So let me ask you then, why are you selling the business at this time instead of staying with it and growing it?
Yeah, it's a really good question. So about 4 or 5 months ago, I decided I wanted to start my MBA, and I have a full-time job. And it was something that I thought I would be able to do everything, where I would be able to do my full-time job. I'd be able to work on my MBA, and then I would be able to kind of spend enough time on this site to kind of help grow it. And I quickly realized that I didn't really have enough time to juggle all three things on top of everything else that's going on in life. Additionally, I think that it's at a good stage for somebody else to kind of take a look at it and figure out where to grow it. I've done a lot with it, but I see so much potential with the website, and there's so many different directions you could take it. And I'm kind of excited to see somebody else take it from where it's at now and grow it into something even bigger.
Yeah, that makes sense. And hopefully in the hands of the right buyer, they can continue scaling at even bigger heights than what you've already done so far. So, Randy, let's just dig into your history and your experience, more like it, to do with the business and what you learned when you were scaling it. Was there anything that you learned from building this business that you would apply to future sites?
Yeah, I've learned so much in the process. I found that the most important thing anybody could focus on is content. I used to think for years that backlinks or maybe even social were kind of an important aspect of SEO. And I think that they used to be a lot more important. But now you could really dive into content, and you could do a lot with the interlinking between inside your website, and just pay attention to bounce rates and how people are interacting with it. And you could be way more successful spending your time on that than investing in things like backlinks.
Yeah, that makes sense. I guess on the other hand, was there anything that you tried that didn't give you the ROI that you were hoping for?
Yeah, definitely. So, and this happened probably about 6 weeks ago, actually. There was a product, and there was a new product that came in from a different affiliate that paid at a higher commission rate. But it turns out that product was harder to sell. So, I mean, that was one of those things where I thought this was an opportunity to make a lot more. And it turns out that the conversion rate is low enough that it wasn't maybe the best idea. And it's something that I'll probably either suggest to a buyer to revert to or do in the interim.
Yeah, I think the issue with affiliate sites is there's always room to experiment, but a lot of times it doesn't always work out right. So that makes sense. I guess I just want to touch in terms of traffic and marketing. What do you currently do in terms of marketing for the business right now?
So currently, the website that was 301 redirected, it came with a Pinterest account, and that was redesigned to match the website that's being sold. So there is a little bit of traffic, but very small, that comes from Pinterest. And the vast majority of all traffic is coming from SEO efforts, so Google, Bing. And additionally, some people actually come from like Facebook, but we don't do anything on Facebook. People are just sending people articles. And so we do get some traffic from that as well.
And how often are you publishing content?
So I've been publishing content weekly. I have a content writer that is very affordable, and she actually adds the content to the WordPress site directly. So it's a very streamlined kind of thing going on. And all I really provide to her is the title of the blog post. So I think that's something that I could have also improved on with this blog is she does a fantastic job, and she's at this point done the majority of the website. I've had other writers, but she's been on long enough. And something that I kind of wish that maybe I spent more time on would be like a blog structure post before. Like, she did a great job, and I'm very happy with everything that turned out, but I think it could have been maybe a little better.
That's great. We'll touch on other opportunities in just a second. I was going to ask you, you mentioned about the Pinterest account that got repurposed and redesigned to match the site for sale. Do you do any posting and scheduling for the Pinterest account?
I do not. So that's an opportunity right there. I think a lot more traffic used to come from Pinterest. I just not familiar with the network at all, and it wasn't something that I cared to learn. So it was basically me repurposing it and then just kind of leaving it alone.
Yeah, okay, makes sense. So would you say that Pinterest might be a good channel to build given the niches that it's in?
It has potential. I think that there's definitely bigger opportunities, but I wouldn't totally ignore it, especially if it's something that you're familiar with.
Mm-hmm. And we'll come back to that in just a second. But I want to ask you, because you're describing about, the content creation process, what else is the type of work that you do to maintain the site on, say, like a day-to-day basis?
Yeah, so I probably spend maybe an hour on the site every week, and that's kind of averaged out. There's some weeks where I spend basically no time at all. And so I, at this point, find content for my writer, and basically that takes up the majority of my time is just the keyword research aspect. And then I will occasionally kind of look at the site and see what pages are getting traffic. And if they're getting enough traffic, I'll go into that page and start adding in affiliate links. But I usually don't even bother adding in affiliate links until that page is getting traffic, just in case it doesn't end up getting any traffic and I don't need to spend my time there.
Gotcha. Okay, that's good to hear. What would you say are some of the skills or requirements someone who isn't familiar with these niches or this business model should learn or brush up on if they wanted to acquire the business and step into this role?
That's a really good question. So I would say that the most important thing to any kind of SEO focused website is going to be the keyword research aspect to it. I think that if you can find good topics for blog posts that people are going to search for and they aren't overly competitive, you're going to find a lot of success in this field.
Good to hear. Let's talk about the opportunities then. If you did stay with the business, what are some of the ways that you would try to grow it?
So the biggest affiliate that probably makes up 80 to 90% of the website's income, I've actually located that product that you can get white labeled. And so to get just kind of for reference points, you could white label the product as your own product for about $1.50 or less, depending on how many you buy. And the affiliate that we're kind of using is selling that product for $25, right? And we get a high commission rate, 45%, but I think that could be significantly higher if you were to sell that product yourself. So I think there's definitely an e-commerce side to the business that could be worked on. And I think that there's clearly traffic and people interested in buying products. There's a ton of other e-commerce related products that could be sold. So I think that there would be a ton of opportunity for somebody to come in and turn it into an e-commerce website. And I've seen in the same niche, people do that and find a lot of success with it. Additionally, this is a perfect type of website for a quiz and to start collecting emails and start doing email marketing. And I've got a quiz that I started and I never finished. I think maybe I tried to overcomplicate it, but there's definitely huge potential with, creating a quiz. There's paid because of how expensive these affiliates are. I think that you could get away with doing some paid search or paid social and still finding like a profit there. So I think that there's a ton of different avenues you could take this business and grow it significantly more than it's currently at.
Yeah, sounds good. Definitely sounds like there's lots of different avenues to play around with, especially, like you say, with the paid advertising aspect, but also, creating that e-commerce arm, because from the sounds of it, the products sought after, so there may be an opportunity for someone who has e-commerce chops. What would you say are some of the biggest risks with this business that a buyer should be aware of?
So the biggest risk with any affiliate website is going to be twofold. It's going to be an affiliate website that's getting their traffic off of organic SEO. So the biggest is if there's an SEO update that crashes all of the traffic, or not all of it, but the majority of it, that's going to be a huge hinder. And then the second is if some of the affiliates that you work with either go out of business or change their rates, which did happen with Amazon over the summer, then that can decrease your profits as well. So those two are going to be by far your biggest risks.
Gotcha. But it sounds like the business is doing okay because it's sort of diversified, like its revenue streams in terms of which affiliates it's using as well. So I think that sort of helps to mitigate the risk a bit, right?
It does. And the other thing is too, the worst case with the biggest affiliate is you end up having to e-commerce and create it yourself. And again, I think that your profit margins in doing that would be significantly higher anyways. So let's say that the biggest affiliate that we're kind of working with right now, something happens. They've been in business for a very long time. I don't imagine anything happening with them, but let's just pretend that they went out of business tomorrow. I would just have to double up, end up creating my own e-commerce side, but the business is still there. People would be looking for that product. So if anything, or a similar product, right? And so if anything, I don't see that being a huge issue, at least in the next year or two.
Great to hear. Last few questions for me, Randy. How much support are you offering buyers?
This website to me is kind of felt like my baby. So I definitely want to make sure that whoever ends up purchasing it gets enough support to feel comfortable. I said that I would be doing 2 30-minute Skype calls over the first 30 days. But if I ended up doing that with a buyer and they still needed some more time or had questions, I think as long as it's within maybe a 60-day period, I'd be more than happy to either jump on a call, phone call, virtual chat, email, whatever it is that works best and help out where I can.
Great to hear. Are you willing to commit to a non-compete?
Yep, absolutely.
And are you open to negotiating something like an earnout, like seller financing?
Yeah. So my first choice would obviously be cash, and I think most people's would be. But if somebody had an offer, I would definitely be open to hearing it.
Fantastic. And last question from me then. If you put yourself in the shoes of a buyer, why would you say that this is a business worth buying?
I just see that there's so much potential with it. It makes, based on how much traffic it's getting and the amount it's earning, it's pretty insane. And the biggest thing that we didn't talk, and I wish that I had remembered to talk about this, is with the biggest affiliate, I get repeat purchase orders on that affiliate. And so this isn't priced into the pricing of the net because I can't give the affiliate business that it's working with to somebody else that's against the terms and conditions. But last month, for example, there's $1,300 in repeat purchasers that I got money for. So I made $1,300 off the repeat purchasers. So that's something that any buyer could end up starting to create their own repeat buyers list by getting new customers, which they would if they started. And so that's pretty much guaranteed revenue. And again, as we talked about, there's just so many different avenues you could take this business. There's just so much potential.
Can you share with us a bit more about what you're saying, about the repeat orders? Can you share a bit more about that? And I guess there's a chance for you to share with us anything else that I might have missed.
Yeah. So with the repeat buyers, this is actually something I didn't realize with this affiliate probably the first 6 months. I was looking at the conversions and I started seeing that there is a label for repeat customers and new customers. And so it turns out that if anybody who purchased from you the first time ends up purchasing again in the future, you get the same amount of commission as you would with a new customer. And so I've slowly built up that repeat customer list over time. In the past 12 months, it's gone from, $200, $300, $500, $600 a month. And now it's up to $1,300 a month. And I only expect that number to keep growing because this is a product that people keep using for a long time, if not maybe their lifetime. So there's an expectation you're going to have a long life cycle. And also, it's an awesome perk to this affiliate. And that's kind of why so much effort has been put towards getting people to continue to purchase this and new customers towards this, just because of the fact that they pay so much and you get the repeat purchase as well.
By any chance, is this affiliate program that we're talking about, is it a recurring affiliate program?
It's not a recurring where you set it up with a credit card and you pay every 3, 4, or 5 months, but it is based on the vertical and based on the industry. It is something that people will continue to purchase over a long period of time. And so as soon as they run out, they're going to go back to the website and buy more. And I see it all the time. And the amount of recurring revenue that's growing month over month just tells that story by itself.
Gotcha. So it kind of sounds like because of the nature of the product, people are naturally going to want to buy or stock up on it again, which would, like you say, end up in repeat purchases.
Yep.
Fantastic. Randy, that's been really great. Thanks for sharing all that information and thank you for joining me on today's interview. I hope that your business gets picked up by the right buyer in the very near future. Absolutely. Thanks for having me. All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. To learn more and see if this listing has already been sold, head over to empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing number 52572. If you're watching this on YouTube, click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. Once you've unlocked this listing, you'll be given everything you need to know about this business. So until next time, enjoy your digital journey.